Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to a brand new streaming month here on DSPGaming. It's an interesting return because, as I always say, when I am not here, the absolute most happens in gaming. And that's exactly what happened while I was off for 2 days. A ridiculous amount of gaming news went down. So today we're going to be covering all of the topics, including gaming journalism apocalypse, where multiple gaming journo outlets are being completely destroyed and people are being laid off left and right. We're going to talk about the Xbox price increases, the impact on the industry and gamers' reactions. We're going to talk about Yuji Horii supposedly leaking that there's going to be a Chrono Trigger remake, or is there? And then lastly, of course, the big news, GTA6 has been officially delayed. Plus, this is the start of a whopping 7-day streaming week for me. We've got everything you could possibly want coming up, including ongoing playthroughs, awesome new stuff, a marathon, and more. This is going to be an awesome, jam-packed return show. Ladies and gents, sit back and relax. It's time for the first day of May that I'll be streaming. A new month, a new fresh appearance, and it's time for the first episode of the Level 1 podcast.
Get ready for some meaningful content, because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Woo! Because the king is back, the king of the live stream, the king is back. Oh!
Alrighty, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the show. It's time for the Level 1 podcast for Saturday. That's right, I said it. Saturday, the 3rd of May, 2025. The beginning of a jam-packed month for me. There will be a lot of new game playthroughs, but continuing old ones. There'll be interesting side projects, fun stuff going on. I'm very excited for the coming month, and I hope that you are all as well. Usually I'm not here on a Saturday. But as I explained, the whole reason that I just had 2 days off at an odd time is because having Saturdays as my scheduled day off every week has some limitations. You can't actually do certain kinds of appointments or things on a Saturday, at least within reason. I've been trying to do certain things for months and months and couldn't make them come together. So I had to take earlier time off in the week so that I could actually do those things. Now, I am back. And it is time to get reinvigorated for a brand new month of content. The spring has sprung. We are in the midst of warmer weather. I've got new decorations behind me, as you can see. The decor for the month of May, I switched up the back panels to be the black colored ones again instead of the blue. We've got the brand new completed Lego build of the Piranha Plant now to my left. And I think, quote me on this, because I think it's true, for the first time ever, we have both the ghost from Pac-Man and the Game Over sign together. I don't think I've ever done that before. I think we either had one or the other. And again, it is more of a minimalist design this year. I think this is working better. Less is more. Instead of having giant pieces of artwork and things behind me blocking all of the shot, now because I have such a nice backdrop and LEDs and everything, RGBs, I guess I should say, I want you to see them, okay? New animations for the entire month. I have not only new animations for the podcast, but also 2 various rotations of animations for other things. I have one that's like classic gaming and one that is like modern games, okay? In fact, one of them has all of the games that I'm currently going to be playing in May, it like represented there. So, good stuff. I'm excited to be back. I hope that you guys are too. What a great month we've got in store, but what a great day we have today. What a great week. This week is wild. I'm here all the way through Friday, full days of double streams, good content. We're going to be continuing on with playthroughs like Oblivion Remastered, the Clear Obscure Expedition 33, and of course, Blueprints, which I'm now going to bring back as a daytime stream in the hopes that we'll bring back some of its attendance and support. But in addition to that, we're going to continue on with the chill Minecraft streams and bringing some more stuff back into the mix. For example, Call of Duty returning and more of that. Okay. So I certainly hope this all sounds good to you. And it should be a great week coming up. We've got a lot to talk about this morning. Gaming news went wild when I was gone. So we've got a lot of news stories to cover. And in addition to that, guess what? This week, we are doing a marathon. It is the Viewer's Choice Marathon event returning. I hope that you guys are going to be joining me for it. The problem is I can't tell you when it is because it's dependent on us hitting support goals. Right now, we are at 42. It just scrolled by. 42 out of 50 support goals. Okay? Which means we have 8 goals to hit. On average, we hit about 1 a stream, although sometimes it's slower than that. If I'm here for 7 straight days, stands to reason we're absolutely hitting 10 goals by the end of the week. But the question is, how soon? And I don't have that answer. It really is dependent on you and how much you support this week. The more you support, the more goals we hit more quickly, the sooner the marathon. So if you want the marathon as soon as possible, please support the streams this week, okay? Now, you guys have been nominating games like crazy, all right? And I actually had a chance. We looked and tallied up some of the nominations over the course of this week to just take a look at what you guys have been wanting for the Viewer's Choice event. And it has been definitely interesting. Okay. Wow, what a crazy amount of games that you have nominated. Holy moly. I think you've nominated over 100 individual games. Things such as Alien Isolation, Caves of Cud, The Class of '09, Dave the Diver, Fall Guys, GoldenEye 007 with a randomizer attached to it, classic Mega Man's or Mega Man X, Resident Evil games, Slime Rancher, 100 Line Last Defense Academy, V Rising, Wario Land 4, and more. And you might say, what are those? I don't know. Those are the games you guys have been nominating. It's been wild. Like, you have nominated an insane amount of games. So, personally, I can't wait to see what actually ends up being the games that you guys select. But I have no clue at this point. Like, there's really no way to tell what you guys are going to want. FYI, you probably have about 1 more day to nominate games if you have not yet. So how can you do it? Well, you'll see there's links that are popping up in both chats on YouTube and Kick, or you could type ! Viewer's Choice if you just want the link right away. There is a thread on the posts tab of DSP Gaming here on YouTube where you can nominate games. If you have not yet, please nominate or thumbs up the nominations that have already been applied, because maybe a game has already been nominated you want to see in the marathon. Thumb it up, and then probably within the next 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to tally it up, and the most nominated games will become part of the final poll or polls, being that there's been so many games nominated. Maybe we'll do 2 polls, and you guys will vote on what you want to see the most during the marathon. Typically, during any gaming marathon, we do around 4 games. We usually play each game for roughly about an hour, and it depends greatly. Sometimes a game is a lot more well-received and people like it more, so we play it more. Sometimes a game just doesn't work, and so we kind of rush through it and don't do that much of it. Personally, I have no clue what we're going to play during this thing at this point. Like, I have no idea what it's going to be. So please nominate and then vote when the poll goes live the next couple of days. Let's see how it goes. All right. So again, FYI, the sooner the better, in my opinion. Like, I actually wanted to do the marathon tomorrow, to be honest. I thought tomorrow would have been perfect. Why? Because if we did it tomorrow, it's a weekend. Typically, we get more people for marathons on weekends than during weekdays, okay? Just in general. People aren't working as much, they're not in school, etc. on a weekend. So I figured it would have been fine, but we didn't have the crazy, insane, over the top support last week. It wasn't like we were hitting 4 or 5 goals in a day or anything like that. So we kind of maintained a pace, and there was a couple days where we faltered there. It's all good. It's not the end of the world. But now if we pick up the pace here, again, we could do it more quickly. So let's see how it goes this week. Let's see how support hits, how many goals we're hitting a day, and go from there. I will say this today, FYI, is the final day of the week for streaming on Kick, meaning anything that comes in today kind of applies for this week on Kick. It would be a great day to get some gifted subs over on Kick. This week has actually been one of the slowest weeks I've had on Kick since I streamed on there. There just haven't been a lot of subs. I think we had DT101 who gifted like 14 subs, and there was a Test Tickles TV who did 10. And then we had one person who did like 6. Everyone else like 111. So I think there was like 30 gifted subs total all week. That is really low on Kick, okay? So today would be a massive day for support on Kick. If we could get that to pick up, and if you've been holding off and, hey, I wanted to apply. Hey, now's the time to get it to apply. The sooner the better. Let's get these goals hit. Let's get this marathon going. FYI, during that marathon, yes, I'll be drinking. I actually bought some tequila to have during the marathon. We still have like 4 of those little shots left. Obviously, I still have that moonshine, but the moonshine is absolutely disgusting. So if I drink it, I'm going to drink it very sparingly during this marathon because it was gross. It really was. And of course, I got something else. I actually got, per your request, guys, guess what I bought? Something that we had talked about last week. I got some White Claws. I've never had them before. And I know that this was a big fad where everyone needs White Claw alcoholic seltzer, and I never tried it. So I actually bought a variety pack of White Claw. And that, not to say that I'm going to be, if I hit a support goal, I'll drink a White Claw. It's a weak drink, but I'm going to probably have those over the course of the marathon casually during the day. So yes, I will be drinking during the marathon while we're trying out this variety of games. In addition, there'll be some food, but I don't know what it's going to be yet. It's my wife and I are just going to probably get something during the event. It's not going to be DSP Tries It or anything like that, okay? Okay, so all that being said, before we begin with the schedule, before we begin with game news and all this stuff we have to do today, let's do some quick shout outs because we actually have some shout outs to begin with, okay? So first of all, Gamer Stevie with a $10 super chat says, lol, it's glitched. Lance is glitched. I don't know what he's referencing. I don't know if there was, he's referencing the clip, the GTA clip. It might be. Remember the GTA Vice City clip? Or actually, it's not the Vice City. It's Vice City Stories, isn't it? I think it is. Gamer Nerd Stevie. It's Gamer Nerd Stevie with a $10 super chat. It's actually $9.99. Yeah, so I think that's one of the highlights that we actually have in the highlight reel that we play, in the breaks that I have during my streams. So yeah, that was over probably about a decade ago when I played Vice City Stories, and it was such a glitchy mess, I remember. But good stuff. Thank you, Gamer Nerd Stevie, for starting the support today with the $10 super chat. Okay, we got some tips this morning. Let's take a quick look. We start off today with a $5 tip. This is from Slayer. Let's see what Slayer has to say. Let's play an animation. Our first animation of the new month. Here we go. Thank you to Slayer for a $5 tip. Oh, wait a minute. I put this in the wrong spot. My bad. Gamer Nerd CV should be the top super chat, not the top tip. And then we got to get Slayer in here as the top tip. Okay, Slayer says, hope you had a great day for the past 2 days. I did. Good variety of stuff. There's not much to talk about, but in a nutshell, my wife and I had a whole entire day out where we were doing appointments. We were doing some shopping for the house and for ourselves, and we had a good meal out. Just in general, it was a really good day. We had a good day. We had some Mexican food at a Mexican restaurant that actually has some nice decor and music. We got some essentials that we kind of need I actually bought a new pair of sneakers, which I needed because one of my pairs of sneakers had holes in the bottom again, so I had to get rid of them. The whole bottom was wearing out, had giant clumps coming out of it. That's what I say when I buy stuff, guys. I wear it till it's like completely worn out. And I had these sneakers now for like I think I bought them right around the time when Kat moved in here, which was 7 years ago. So, yeah, that's what I mean, like, I had these shoes for 7 years, they finally wore out, so I had to get a new pair of sneakers. And, so just stuff like that, necessities, nothing too crazy. Yesterday was a more relaxed day, we stayed home and spent a lot of time together and relaxed and watched some stuff, and she played some games, I watched her play games, so, yeah, nothing crazy to really talk about during the days off. Okay, so, just wanna say, we had our elections. Now, when he says "our," for those who don't know, Slayer lives in Singapore, so he's talking about Singaporean elections, apparently. They finished the count. They announced the result for the votes. It's 2 a.m. Our government won all the seats except 10 seats, which is 3 districts held by the opposition. I'm happy with the result. We still have strong support with the people here who made the right choice. So, over in Singapore, apparently, it's just more of the same. The government has been revoted in, and nothing has really changed. The polar opposite of what happened here in the United States back in the fall, where we had a major flip with our government, where it went from left wing Democrats to right wing conservative Republicans, and the entire government has changed. You know, pretty much in the last 6 months, things have been dramatically different here in this country, right? All right, thank you, Slayer. Our first tip of the new month. Now, I received a $20 tip from Gamer Stevie. Have a good weekend, bros. OMG. Great songs, Phil. Laughing out loud. Thank you so much, Gamer Stevie, for a $20 tip. So I'm assuming that's probably also Game Nerd Stevie there. So it's probably the same person who did a super chat and a tip. Thank you. You're the top tipper right now. Let's get you on the leaderboard. Thank you so much. Okay, continuing on. By the way, I've got my eye on Kick. I'm looking for the first sub of the new month here. Like I said, today would be a great day to get a bunch of sub support on Kick. We have barely had any in the last week. Today would be an amazing day for that. Who's going to do that first sub and get that momentum rolling on Kick? Let's see. Okay. I received a $30 tip from Guitar Player 1939. How's it going, Guitar Player? I hope everything's going good for you. It's always good to see you, especially the start of a brand new week and month. Reinvigorated, excited. Good to see you, man. Let's get you on the leaderboard there. $30. Thank you so much. Cool. Okay. And I got a $2 tip from someone who says greasy and diabolical indigestion fart. There you go. I have no idea what that means. It's not me. I haven't had an indigestion fart today. I'm actually pretty good right now. Maybe later I'll have one, but not now. But I don't know what that's a reference to. Thanks for the $2 tip, though. All right. I actually had to think about it for a second. I was like, did I fart? No, I didn't fart. I tell you guys this. I literally fart all the time on stream. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not trying to be gross. It's just a weird thing because when I burp, everyone brings it up. If I have the post-nasal drip and I have to like snort to clear out my sinuses or else I start coughing, you guys bring it up. But no one ever says, hey, Phil, what's with that big one you just ripped? I think I just have a good enough setup that no one can hear it. Or if it is, maybe it mixes in with other noises so you can't tell because you never really know if it's a fart or not. Like I have a chair that makes noise. I go like that with my mouth sometimes. So I think people get confused. They don't know if it's a fart or not. But it's just weird because people bring up the other stuff, but they don't bring up farts. It's just bizarre. But anyway, okay. Why do I deny it when it happens? I don't. I don't deny it. You guys never bring it up. I'm serious. Like, there's days after dinner that I'll have like really bad indigestion, and I'll just be like so many. It's like you ever like Dalzim. You see Dalzim when he does his yoga like hover. He's hovering. Imagine if I was doing that because I was farting so much the gas was just propelling me above the ground. That's what I feel like sometimes. I just can't stop. It's like rapid fire machine gun farts or one of those, long ongoing rippers or whatever. But you guys never bring it up. So like I said, I guess you just literally can never hear it. Thank God there's no smell-o-vision on the internet. Can you imagine that? Anyway. All right, so so that's all we've got so far. Thank you to everyone who has supported early. We're already over a third to our goal, nearly halfway to our goal for the stream. And again, remember that the sooner the better that we hit these goals. I'm eyeballing some people over on Kick right now who are regulars. We need our first Kick support of the week. Let's do it. Who's going to be our first person this morning who's going to contribute to the stream over on Kick? Because we've got super chats and we've got tips, but we have no subs. We need subs. We also have no memberships. It'd be great to get a couple memberships here today as well from the YouTube side. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. All right. So that's correct. Kick's performance is being closely monitored today. I got an eye on them. All right. Okay. So let's begin. First of all right. And I want to say thank you for a great April. April was great. And here's why April was great. On paper, April looked terrible. I mean, you had like South of Midnight, and I feel like one other game, and then Fatal Fury, which I didn't even play. April looked terrible. But April had a couple surprise hits like Blueprints and Oblivion Remastered, right? Claire Obscura ended up being outstanding, and I can't wait to play more of it. And then on top of that, we had ongoing projects and finishing stuff, right? We finished Atomfall. We finished Pirate Yakuza. We did some Lego nights. Mark Guys had its big WrestleMania. So all of that stuff, okay? All of that stuff went down really well. And I just want to say thank you again to everyone who over the month of April tuned in and supported my content. You guys are amazing. All right, really. Because again, I keep saying it could have been a really bad month. It could have been a month that was dead. But instead, it was a great month overall because no matter what we did, people showed up and engaged and supported. And here's the thing. Here's what I want to emphasize about April, all right, as we start a new month of May. If April was mostly a dead month for gaming, because it really was, okay, I'm excited for the months when things are actually going to pick up, really. I feel like as things start to pick up and I start playing bigger new releases and bigger events are happening, things are going to get very exciting around here, particularly that first week of June, where we've got the launch of the Switch 2, Summer Game Fest, the Xbox event, and more. Like, that's going to be really exciting, I feel. And then when we get big games coming out over the next several months to, the end of the year, I feel like those big premiere playthroughs are going to have big impact and they're going to be very exciting as well. So I hope that you guys are ready. This month of May, FYI, does have some major releases that are going to be pretty exciting. For example, notably, in the month of May, we're going to have Doom: The Dark Ages on May 13th. And that's going to be the first major high-profile game of the month. Obviously, everyone's going to be talking about it. Is it good? Is it not? I'll be playing it on PC, on keyboard and mouse, which is excellent because I really do feel like a game like Doom is meant to be played on keyboard and mouse. And if you don't, you're kind of not getting the real experience playing it on, say, a gamepad. And that's kind of one of the disappointing things is that, games like that haven't gotten their fair due, I feel, in the last decade when I haven't been a PC gamer. Now I will be. Okay, so I'm excited for that. Then we've got the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 coming out May 16th. The reason that's exciting is because it features some of the biggest old school Street Fighter games ever, some of which are being available online for the first time in like 20 years. Capcom vs. SNK 2 has not been actively available besides emulation on any platform since the early 2000s. So finally, CVS 2 may have a big resurgence. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper. That game never actually had a collection or anything available to play online. Alpha 3 Upper was always a version of Street Fighter Alpha 3 that you could get for like PlayStation, but it was single player or play offline only. So now to see that collection has this balance tweaks and new characters and it be played online is going to be kind of fun. And there's some silly party games and stuff in that collection too. That's going to be a good one. That's going to get me back into fighting games for a bit. And then we got Onimusha HD 2 on May 23rd, which now I'm totally for. You know, I had never even played Onimusha before. And then during the last Viewer's Choice event, you guys nominated it. I played Onimusha Warlords, loved it. And now we're going to be playing all these new remakes and everything as they come out. Okay? So Onimusha 2 on May 23rd, and of course, Elden Ring Night Reign on May 30th. So we've got 4 high-profile releases coming out this month over the course of the second half of the month. The first half of the month, we can now settle in and focus on continuing with Oblivion, continuing with Clair Obscur, continuing with Blueprints, which I feel like we're getting near the end of Blueprints at this point with the great runs we've been having in it. Doing a little bit more of what we like. For example, Call of Duty coming back into the mix because we haven't done it in a while. I'm excited for that tonight. Minecraft, which has been doing well, will continue with the Java edition now. And now maybe we have some flexibility to do some other things. For example, to do a new indie game this week. I'm not sure what we'll do, but I'm excited. So this is going to be a great couple of weeks before we even get to the new release stuff that's coming out later this month. That's going to be very exciting, okay? So I think this month is a pretty solid month. Like, it looks like a better month than last month for sure when you look at how it's stacked up with the releases coming out. And don't even get me started on June, because on June, that whole first week is going to be wild, and then we have a bunch of high-profile games and things. So the next couple of months are going to be very good, and I feel like they're actually going to be better than April was. But the crazy thing about that was April was good. So I think, like, we're heading up, you know, and the fact that I have the better setup, the ability to play these games with better quality, the best version on PC, the best controls if they're PC games that need mouse and keyboard, this is excellent. Cannot wait. I hope that you guys will be along for the ride with me, okay? So what are we doing? Let's talk about the schedule for the next few days. So today we are continuing on with Oblivion Remastered. If you haven't noticed, we have focused pretty much solely on the main story of Oblivion Remastered during this run, which is good. It's actually the opposite of what we did with Oblivion 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was just doing side content endlessly and kept getting lost in said side content for a very long time. And then when we finally got back to the story, it felt like we were turboing through it. Well, now we're doing the story first. And as we've just found out, one of the interesting things about the Oblivion story is that at one point, you have to win over the actual towns on the map to have them be your allies to help you save Bruma. So even though we've been turboing through the story, it looks like we're going to have to take some time now to go to the individual towns and start doing quest lines there, which should be fun. So Oblivion Remaster continues today. I'm pumped for it. It's been a great playthrough so far. I know that you guys are too. Tonight, Black Ops 6 multiplayer returns for the first time in 2 weeks. We're bringing back Black Ops 6. Hopefully, people will show up, engage, and support with it. This has been one of those games that I really like playing, but it's kind of hit or miss if people will actually show up and support it or not. Since I haven't played it in several weeks, I hope you will. I'll be on keyboard and mouse. I don't even know what we're doing. We'll have to see what the current event is, what the challenges are, and stuff like that, and go from there. But hopefully you'll join me for some fun with that tonight. Tomorrow, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 continues on the daytime stream. Last time we had major story progress, and I feel like we will continue on with that story progress until we maybe get to another area. I don't know. I don't know where that area is going to be, but I guess we'll see. And it should be a good time again, because I really like the game and the story is outstanding. The gameplay is getting much better. The further in that we get, the more, I have to parry a lot. I got a new recruit on my team now that plays differently from the other characters, so it's adding variety. I'm really excited for it, okay? And then Minecraft Java Edition continues on Sunday night's late night stream. You guys really liked the fact that I jumped from Bedrock to Java last time. I would like to install some mods, but I need time to do so. And sadly, it just doesn't seem like it's a very easy thing to do. Like, I've had multiple people contact me, and they're like, so here's the step-by-step instructions on how to install mods. And it's, like, insanely long like this. I was like, what? It's not just like I download a file and I add it to a folder. No. You have to get this installer. You have to do this in this order, then this here and this here, and then this here and here. And then you could start installing mods. And here's some recommended mods, but here's some mods you might not want. And here's something you might want to do in this order. I was like, oh, I, I thought it was going to be something like real easy and not time consuming. It seems like it's the complete opposite. Like it would be incredibly time consuming. Okay. So it sucks in that regard because obviously I don't have a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Um, so we'll have to see. At the very least, what I would like to apply is a graphical mod. I would like to have the graphics of Minecraft Java Edition on PC look better, whether it's better lighting or whatever. Um, so I hope that maybe I can have some mods in place for Sunday night, but I'm not promising that because I don't know how long it's going to take, how much time I'm going to have. Monday, and you guys may be happy. For those of you who like blueprints, okay, you're probably going to be really happy with this announcement. On Monday, blueprints will return to daytime streams, at least for Monday. Because the major feedback I got the last 2 weeks playing blueprints was that people are upset it's on a night stream. A lot of people who were following the playthrough and supporting it can't be here at night. So they were upset that I put it as a night stream because they were missing the live streams. And then I wasn't getting the level of engagement and support that I was getting when it was a day stream. Okay? So I am excited for blueprints on Monday. We have made major progress and strides in this game. All right. So I'm excited to get to play it again and possibly get to end game content. Okay. We'll see. And then we're going to do a new indie game on Monday night. What is it going to be? I don't know. It could be continuing on with a game like Balatro. Maybe we'll finally do a Schedule 1 stream, which we didn't do in a whole month since my birthday. We haven't played it again. Okay? Or maybe we'll play a new indie game. I'm not sure. But what I want to do is I want to play an indie game that's basically not Disco Elysium, which we've been playing for like 7 straight weeks, and now we're finally, not playing it anymore. I want to do something different because I feel like the indie games that I was playing were working, but then we kind of lost our way playing Disco Elysium so much. All right. So let's talk about that actually. In the next couple of days, what indie game would you like to see on Monday night? Would you like to see me return to Balatro? Would you like to see me maybe do some Schedule 1? Or should we actually try something completely new? I'm down for whatever. Okay. So that's the first few days of the week. What I'd like to do is kind of play it by ear, see what happens this week. If all that goes down well, maybe we'll just repeat that whole schedule for another 3 days. Okay. Let's see. Let's chill and let's see how it goes and go from there. But the good news is because there's no new releases this week. Originally, there was supposed to be Metal Eden, but Metal Eden has been delayed until the summer. So because of that, we now have freedom to kind of control what happens this week and shuffle the schedule around per whatever we want to do. Okay? By the way, Jade, how you doing? Jade says he will be here tonight for Call of Duty. I'm glad for that, Jade. And he says, good to see the Ghost back and also the Game Over sign. Yeah, together. You can't see them. There's a pop-up right now. Darn you, fucker, Carlson. Why are you blocking what I'm trying to show the audience? But anyway, yeah, first time ever that I feel like I've had these two together, right? I don't think I've ever done combination signs. I could. Like, I have the ability to do multiple signs at once if I want to. I just haven't done it yet. And I said, for variety, why not do it this month, right? So there you go. Okay. So good stuff there. I hope that schedule sounds good, at least for the beginning of the week. Now, keep in mind also, when we hit our goal of 50 goals hit, that day will be the marathon. But the question is, when will we hit 50 goals hit? Who is going to step up and support the streams in a big way so we can hit these goals and we can get momentum going and we can do our Viewer's Choice Marathon as soon as possible? I'm down for doing it whenever. I literally can change the entire schedule on any given day this week and do it. It could be tomorrow. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Any day, I'm good. So whatever you want, we'll do it. Let's see. Let's see when it actually goes down. Okay? Cool. Speaking of which, shoutouts. Gamer Nerd Stevie did a 5-member bomb on the channel. Thank you, Gamer Nerd Stevie. I appreciate that. That's $15 of support right there. So now we're up to $82 of support and climbing. Thank you so much. We're now over the halfway point of our first goal of the week. Let's see here. And I got a $2 tip from someone saying, looking forward to Oblivion tonight. It's all good. Thank you very much. Thank you to the $2 tipper. Appreciate that. All right, me too. Oblivion should be fun. Wait a minute. 82, so now we're 84, right? We're 84 now? Yes, it should be a good time today. I'm excited for Oblivion. It's been a great playthrough so far with the improved graphics and everything. And we'll see what happens. If you guys have recommendations of order I should do stuff, because now what's going to happen is I think we have like 1 or 2 more quests to do for Martin, and then we can't make any progress until we actually unlocked the loyalty of all the different like towns in the world of Oblivion. So maybe you guys can give recommendations what order to do stuff. I don't really remember. I know in the first playthrough I didn't even do this. I just went around and got everyone's loyalty first. Then it just so happened I needed it, and then we already had it. But this case, we're gonna do it in kind of the more established order of how you play the game. So I'm excited. Wait, what? Why is my main account banned? I was upset because you didn't read my messages. I didn't mean to offend you. Can I get my main account banned? It is banned from what you just said. If you would like to get a YouTube account unbanned, what you need to do is email me at darksidefil@hotmail.com and include the @ symbol and your channel, whatever the address is. And then through there, I can unban you. I can't do it on the fly. There's actually no way to easily unban anyone on YouTube. Sadly, on Kick is easy. On Kick, you just tell me your name, I can do it immediately. I can't do it on YouTube because everyone's names are attached to this weird @ address. So it makes it all over convoluted. But I'd be happy to unban you later if you email me. Am I drinking coffee or tea? Neither. Filtered water. I only drink filtered water usually in here. If I need extra coffee, I get it, and I tell you if I'm doing that, but right now I'm good. Gamer Chris, 7 months as a member. Good to see you, man. How are you, Gamer Chris? Welcome, welcome. Gamer Chris says, 7 months, Phil. I hope that you have a good day today. Thank you, Gamer Chris. It's good to see you here, and I wish you the best. Hope you're having a good day as well. All right. Okay. I see that we have people harassing. Just ignore them. I'll take care of them when I see if people are being harassing and stupid in the chat. I'll take care of it. No worries there. Dabhan says it's kind of stupid. The Oblivion gates are the worst part of Oblivion. They're meant to be the whole selling point, but they're tedious. Yeah, they're actually the worst part. Having played Oblivion 2 years ago, right? My favorite part of the game was the side questing and the different not factions, but like guilds and stuff like that. Those guild plot lines and side quest lines were really good. Even the main quest line's good. The one annoying part is the Oblivion gates. Now, here's the weird thing. Someone said to me, are you aware you only need to do 3 Oblivion gates to beat the whole game? And I said, no. They said, yeah, the first one you've already done. That was the first one that opened up. And then at the beginning of the game, outside of Kavach. The second one is the one outside of Bruma, which we just did. And he said, there's one more. Those are the only 3 you have to do. But is that really true? Because wasn't it true that you have to, at some point, there's a requirement to either having had closed a certain amount, or don't you need like sigil stones or something to advance one of the storylines? So you have to do some. Davian says you have to do at least 1 for each town. So like 9. So there you go. We've done Kavach, we've done Bruma. So I guess we got to do 1 more for each town. I feel like I'll only do them when we're required to this time. Because last time we did the opposite. I was trying to do like everything last time. And man, those gates sucked ass. So I think we'll only do them when we absolutely have to. Okay? Yes, Joe Law says you have to close each Oblivion gate around each town for their support and story mode. So basically, there's 1 established gate per town, but there's also a lot of optional ones. And in my first run, I did all the optional ones, and it was so tedious, right? We haven't done any news yet. No. Oh, don't worry. We got a big news segment on today's show. I've got a ton of news stories we're about to cover. So much happened on my day off. It's nuts. It's nuts how much went down. So we're going to talk about it in just a sec here, okay? Cool. Okay. So, Kick is running like ass today. Is that true? Kick has been having problems recently. The other day, the entire night stream I did on Wednesday, it wouldn't even show how many viewers were on the stream. It wouldn't show it at all. Like, we had no idea how many people were actually watching, and there was no way to figure it out because it was blank. It was, like, blanked out and not showing the number of viewers, and it even glitched where, like, results for the stream didn't show until, like, a full day after, which is crazy. Usually on Kick, as soon as you finish a stream, your results are live. Like, right then you can see how many people viewed, what was the engagement, did you get any subs, what was your revenue? Nothing. It was blanked out for, like, 2 days, and then finally showed up, like, yesterday. So, yeah, Gamer Nerd Stevie, all those memberships were fake except yours. All those memberships earlier were fake, but yours were legit, obviously. We got people dropping fake member bombs. I'm such a veteran of handling it now. As you noticed, I didn't even bring it up. Gamer Stevie J is, but or not Gamer Stevie J, Gamer Nerd Stevie is. So, it's just when it happens, I just brush it off. Like, whatever. Nobody gives a shit that there's fake memberships. I just ban the idiot and I move on. And I remove the messages. So there you go. Geek Chat is bugged today. You got logged out automatically. That sucks because logging in the Kick can be annoying. It really can be. Me, I was like 10 levels of security, so it's even harder for me. Okay. I received a $2 tip, and someone says, "You seemed like you're very positive today, which I'm glad to see. I felt like you were a bit burnt out and frustrated before the break." I would say, man, there was a couple things going on that kind of tired me out, or were annoying me. To be honest, yeah, I feel that. I do feel that way. But now I feel like I'm coming back fresh, right? A couple days away gives you a fresh mindset. I had time to relax, spend time with my wife, come back, and now spend time with you. 7 straight days. We're going to be continuing on awesome progress in the great games that we're playing, right? We're going to have a good time together, variety of stuff this week. I can't wait for the marathon. I think the marathon's going to be a really great day. So yeah, I'm feeling reinvigorated. I'm not even kidding you. The only thing that I wish for this week that isn't probably going to happen is I hope that Kick will pick up because the Kick stuff did slow down last week and it disappointed me. I had good momentum there on Kick where every week we were getting a bunch of subs and everything, and then last week it was like almost dead on Kick, and I don't know how to fix that. I am building up more of a regular viewership on Kick, which is good, but obviously I need to have consistent support there too, and that's not happening. It's kind of one week we'll get a couple people who will come and be like super generous, and then the next, if they don't show up, it's like dead over there. So I hope that we can get more consistency. On YouTube, it's consistent. On YouTube, we get, memberships and recurring memberships. We get super chats daily. I mean, tips are kind of between both, but it's really just the Kick stuff that I wish could be more consistent. But outside of that, the games we're playing are great, right? We're doing good variety of content. I'm feeling good because now it's a new month. We got a refreshed setup. I like the new animations we're going to be playing and stuff like that. Like, it's going to be a good time. It's good times ahead. So I feel more refreshed, and I feel like I'm ready to tackle a new week with all of you. So I'm glad that you noticed that my spirits are high today. They are. I'm in a good mood. Okay. All right. Well, I think we should now get to this ginormous amount of news that has gone down. You guys are right, by the way. Like, my Kick chat is all screwed up. You're absolutely correct. I can't even, get stuff to load properly in my own Kick chat here on the laptop. I'm trying to, click certain things, and they're not even loading. So there's some problems here on Kick today. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Let's get to some news, shall we? I mean, what order should we do this? I guess here's what we'll do. So, here's what we'll cover first, okay? Wow, there's just so many ways that people are talking about it. So here we go. All right. We are in the midst of a gaming journalism apocalypse. Hold on. I just realized this camera's on. There we go. We are in the midst of a gaming journalism apocalypse. What does that mean? It means that over the last several days, some of these gaming journalism sites, and I definitely say that very loosely, because a lot of these sites, although they cover games, they also try to widely cover pop culture and other things. And quite frankly, they try to interject things like politics into their coverage, which is ridiculous because you're supposed to be neutral when you cover this stuff if you're truly a journalist. But these places have not been. They have very much been trying to wedge in their own beliefs and politics into their reports and their content and their coverage of stuff, right? But anyway, over the last several days, basically a lot of these places have been falling apart. We've got Polygon. Now, Polygon was started in the early 2010s as trying to be something that would compete with IGN and GameSpot. It was more like grassroots and it's supposed to be in line with what gamers wanted rather than corporate interests. But over the years, Polygon degraded into political nightmarism, basically. I mean, just taking a look at this. Here's what Polygon cared about in 2020. Wizards of the Coast is addressing racist stereotypes in Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy, drow and orcs, which are fantasy races that don't exist. And Polygon is complaining that it's racist. It's not real. It's fabricated. It's not actually like mistreatment of a group of people if they don't have existence in reality. Right? This would be the equivalent of saying like, so you wrote a fantasy story, and in the fantasy story, there actually is a group of people who are like slaves and being mistreated by another group of people in the fantasy story. That's the plot. And then someone says, well, you wrote a story that's racist. What are you talking about? It's not real. The people who are oppressed, you're supposed to side with them. Like, that's the plot, is that it's fantasy. You're supposed to feel for them, and it's their plight is that they're slaves and they're trying to fight back. But that's racist. It's not real. It can't be racist. You fucking idiots. But that's what I'm saying. It's just, they're just out of their minds. The stuff that they've written over the years is just, it's insanity. Where was the article about, where is it? Here it is. This is the best. Hogwarts Legacy wants to make everyone happy, but Harry Potter gets in the way. Rowling Spectre looms above a vapid open world. Did you even play Hogwarts Legacy? Harry Potter isn't in the game, and J.K. Rowling didn't have any influence on it. She wrote none of it and didn't actually have a hand in the game being made at all, and it's not even the plot of Harry Potter. And this is what Polygon writes. This is some of their articles that they've written in the last 5 to 10 years have just been insanity. Okay? So it's obvious clickbait nonsense. Disney's hottest ranked animal characters. Wait, what? What is going on? This is supposed to be a reputable journalistic website. Okay? Reputable. Anyway, they've been hit with massive layoffs and have been sold to Valnet. So essentially, most of Polygon is now gone. They basically are operating on say, a skeleton crew. And if they continue to even exist, all right, they're not going to be a gaming journalism website anymore, it seems. It seems like they may be retooled into something else. And of course, the internet is reacting, basically saying good riddance to bad rubbish and stuff like that. But the thing is, in truth, oh, here we go. A substantial number of Polygon staff members have been laid off or quit, including site co-founder and editor-in-chief Chris Plant. It is near impossible for me to feel pity for Polygon or its army of game journalists. Since it was Polygon that was one of my first to start Gamers Are Dead push and deliberately insulted and attacked their core audience in 2014. No one is obligated to feel pity or sympathy for people who attack their customer base, least of all the customers themselves. So here's the thing. At one point, Polygon actually was a reputable place. In 2012, they wrote a very positive article about me. Now, this was, of course, before the entire internet turned against me and turned me into a negative meme. And, this is how you don't play basically became the norm, right? But they actually covered me in a very objective, positive way. And a lot of people saw that article and came and checked me out because of it, right? But that was 13 years ago. So much changed during that time frame where they just were so desperate for attention and trying to be relevant in the whole gaming journalism landscape that they went off the deep end. Okay. Now, you may say, wow, that's bad. Well, guess what? Giant Bomb is effectively dead as well. What happened with Giant Bomb? Well, basically, they got bought out by this company called Fandom. All right. And when they got bought out by Fandom told them, we only want you to start doing game facts or walkthroughs. Basically, we no longer want you to be a site that has shows, that has editorials or opinions. We just want you to write game guides. That's it. And I guess when asked why, they basically were, well, we don't like your content. It's not resonating with an audience. And so they took offense. So basically, I think Dan Reichert was the guy who was the head of Giant Bomb. So he had a scorched earth meeting on May 1st saying Giant Bomb is dead. Fandom wants to convert the site into a guides-only content. Fandom executive once asked Dan if Grand Theft Auto even has a large player base. After Voidberger and Jason were fired, the Giant Bomb crew found out that Fandom was pocketing all of the subscriber money and giving them none of it, so they stopped promoting premium subs entirely on their business. Dan dared Fandom to fire him and will not show up to meetings. Some Giant Bomb crew may stay at GameSpot. It looks like they're going to maybe be starting some new thing called Party Mode Games. Okay. Fandom will likely convert Giant Bomb into an AI slop house, including guides. Get ready for video game guides that contain AI hallucinations and references to enemies and locations that don't exist. Okay. So here's the thing about Giant Bomb. I've heard about them from time to time. Every once in a while, I heard that they wrote a story or they have a show that's entertaining. But in truth, can I be honest about all of this stuff? All right. I really like to be, and I hope that you guys don't take offense because some of you guys may be big fans of this content. Okay. I have seen this all from a very different perspective, and here's why. I'm a creator. All right. I'm not a gamer or common viewer or fan of gaming like you are. Okay. I've been inside of all of this. And as someone who's been covering games and everything for the last 15 to 18 years, I see things differently. I literally never went out of my way to read an article on Polygon unless it was linked to me and it was something pertinent that I needed to cover for like a show. I've literally never been to Giant Bomb. I've never seen a single video. I don't even know who that guy is. Right there. I've never seen him before. But it's just funny because so many of you were like, oh my God, Giant Bomb. And I like that site and I like the people there and I like the content. I don't know anything about them. I can't say a negative word because I've never seen any of it, right? But the way my take is as follows. This has been quite the ride the last 15 plus years that I've been a YouTuber, all right? And I've seen people come in and go out. I've seen people who weren't even involved in games decide one day that because games were profitable, they were going to be gaming content creators. And now all of a sudden, overnight, they're covering E3. They're being flown out to events. They're getting consoles ahead of time and shit like that. For me, I want as many people in games and game content creation as humanly possible who are actual gamers. Okay? From what I can digress, or from what I can understand, Polygon, sadly, in the last decade changed. At one point, they were a bunch of gamers, and they wanted to do gaming journalism for the sake of actually being not corporate. But over the last decade, they changed to just be politics. Push left-wing agendas, politics, and do rabble-rousing. That's our clickbait articles. That's our business, okay? I don't think, excuse me, I touched the mute by accident. I don't think Giant Bomb was that at all. I think the reason that a lot of people say that Giant Bomb resonated with them is because the people that worked there actually felt like real gamers, people who actually had passion for the industry and were covering it in a way that felt more like someone who's like you actually is talking about games. And that's a very different thing, correct? But I hate to say it. Sadly, it seems like games journalism is on the way out. And here's what I mean by this. The last 15 years have seen the rise of influencers. Okay? An influencer is someone who is very popular on the internet. It doesn't matter if they actually know what the hell they're talking about or not, but because they have such a following, right? They now are allowed to get access to everything early, get exclusive coverage of games, game consoles, E3 and other events, all this stuff, right? They're the ones who are like the golden selected group. And the funny part about those people is they're huge, but I don't even know who the fuck they are. I've been around for 15, 16, 17 years. And if you ask me who's this influencer, I don't fucking know. I don't even know how they got a rise or how they even have popularity because they kind of came out of nowhere. Isn't that funny? How all of a sudden someone is a golden child of gameplay content creation and they get everything out of nowhere. And now like overnight they become popular. Isn't that weird? But I think what's actually happened is in general, game developers, game publishers, the big AAA companies are thinking that their strategy needs to be different. We don't need to give exclusive access to our games to Polygon or Giant Bomb or Kotaku or anything. What we need to do is now we need to have the influencers be the ones who are going to have that access, because when an influencer makes a video or a stream, they get more clout and attention and actually can push more game product selling than anyone covering this stuff on a journalistic website. And I think it's just times are a-changing, okay? I've been saying for the very longest time that the days of these gaming news websites has passed. Why do we need to have a gaming site get access to a game 2 months early so they can play it and do an exclusive early review? The reason that used to happen a long time ago is because everything was in print. You had a print magazine, right? And so in order to actually write that review early, they needed to have time to play through a game and then actually write the review, print the physical magazine, and ship it to stores all before the game released. That's why advanced copies were given out. Today, there's literally no reason for it. It doesn't need to exist. Because the day a game comes out, everyone can live stream it, share their experiences and their opinions with the world. And so the era of games journalism, in my opinion, is coming to a close. It may be sad for those of us who've been around long enough to see that games journalism was valid, had a place in the whole landscape of game content creation. It's sad to see this happening all at once, but I feel like the writing was on the wall for a very long time. When events like E3 went away, so too will these sites and places that used to cover E3 and be the essential ones you needed to go to for that information. Now, every game developer is putting out their games for digital events, right? Sony State of Play, Xbox Showcase, Nintendo Treehouse event, and every other company doing their own. It's just immediately on the internet. We don't need E3 and we don't need journalists going there in person to cover it. So what purpose do they serve? And if everyone is getting these games and can immediately be putting out coverage of them with a stream or a video, then we don't need official journalists anymore to cover video games. It's not like we need the guys from Polygon and Giant Bomb to go to a war zone to cover what's going on in the Middle East. It's just playing games, man. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that serious, right? We will always need real life journalists to cover things that we cannot be there in person for. But if it's just simply playing a video game, which is a digital experience, anyone can do it. And you already have your favorite content creators and people who are making content. So you don't need the official outlets to get that information anymore. So what's happening here, in my opinion, is the beginning of what's going to be an avalanche. First, you're seeing the more independent companies, Polygon, Giant Bomb. They can't survive anymore, so they get bought out. And once they get bought out, they get closed down because the big company that bought them realized they're not making any money. They're not getting any attention anymore. So convert them, turn them into something profitable, gut them out. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying I see this is what's going to happen. This is the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see more and more of these businesses, these more indie places go away. And then guess what's going to happen next? The big boys, the IGNs, the GameSpots, because again, Why do we need them? Can you tell me literally one reason why you need to go to IGN for anything today? Is there a single piece of exclusive content to be found on IGN that you must go to that website to see today? Or is all that content readily available everywhere else on the internet and they're just a hub and a place that you go to because you already knew they existed for so long? Legacy media, right? Essentially, games journalism is going to become like what terrestrial old school radio was, right? It still exists, but quite frankly, there's no reason for it to exist. Technology and the times have passed by all of this. But for some odd reason, just because it's always been around, it's still around. Well, now we're seeing the places that aren't the biggest are going away. And that's the beginning. Again, if people who work in gaming journalism aren't seeing the writing on the wall with both Giant Bomb and Polygon basically imploding and falling apart in the last 24 to 48 hours, I don't know what else of a symbol you're looking for. I don't, you know what I'm saying? This is like the bat signal on top of Gotham. Oh shit, there's trouble. You know what I mean? So now would be the time to be quite frankly, I think they need to get out of it because it's not going to be secure anymore. I feel like now it's going to be all about people go to their favorite creators, their favorite influencers to get this information. They're not going to be looking towards these sites anymore. And these sites are going to fall out of prominence. They're going to have less and less of attention and support and ad revenue to be had. And then they're going to just go out of business. Sad, but I think that's just where we're headed. And we've seen this for many years. And how people could have not seen it coming or denied it, I don't know. One of the weirdest things that's happened, Game Informer went out of business and they just came back. What were they thinking? I hate to tell you, Game Informer, not to say that they're not quality, because I think they always were. The industry is imploding. Why would you try to come back? Right? I don't get it. I don't know how you're going to survive. It's already so cutthroat, dog eat dog, and now you're trying to bring it back? Like, I don't know about this. So anyway, it's just crazy. In 48 hours, 2 major gaming journalism businesses have fallen apart. And it seems like this is the beginning of that movement. Like I said, the avalanche is happening. And we might see more and more of this happening very soon. And I predict that if it continues, you're going to see it not just affect the little guys, but the big guys too. Again, I don't think that IGN and GameSpot, I don't think they're immune at all. I just think that because they've been around for so long and have corporate backing, that they feel safe. But I think what's going to happen is as these companies start to realize it's just the influencers that are really getting us to sell games, not those sites anymore, they're going to go by the wayside. Okay. Dark Maggot, 47 months as a super supporter, says, man, I love Giant Bomb. I still follow the original creators even today. And there you go. I hear that kind of stuff every day. Man, I really liked Giant Bomb. It's a shame what's happening. And I'm just like, I can't really speak to it because I, as a creator, have been so busy making the content myself, I don't seek out anyone else to see what was Giant Bomb all about? What was Polygon about? What's Kotaku about? How's IGN doing? How's GameSpot doing? I don't care. I myself buy every game, cover every game. You know, I'm doing it for my own, so I don't seek that kind of information from other places. But I know that people do. I know that many of you were fans of Giant Bomb, and it's very sad to see the business basically implode and go away. But man, I just feel like this is the beginning now. This is finally the bubble is burst and it just can't support itself anymore. It's not sufficient, you know? Okay. I got a $2 tip. Someone says back in 2020, Polygon did a full article. They called Sega a bunch of cowards because they never showed Sonic's feet. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. That was a real article. Oh, that's what I mean. Like Polygon seems to have just been clickbait for a very long time. No, I mean, that's pure clickbait. Who cares about Sonic's feet? But that's the kind of content they were putting out and acting like it was reputable journalism. So, okay. Thank you guys. Let's move on because we have a lot of news to cover. Let's move on to the next story. Oh, by the way, Gamer Nerd Stevie, $5 super chat. Thank you, Gamer Nerd Stevie. We're now up to $93 of support and climbing, almost 2/3 of the way to our goal. here on the show. Man, it would be great if we could hit our goal before the podcast ends. That means we would 100% be cool for the rest of the stream and maybe even have a chance to double up because we need to get that momentum going to hit this marathon this week. So thank you so much, everyone. Again, I'm eyeballing Kick. We have had no support on Kick yet this morning. It would be great to get some Kick support, okay? All right, on to our next news story for today. Here we go. Xbox / Microsoft, whatever you want to call them, are raising the prices of everything. Okay? Just take a look. This was just announced the other day. The Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte will now go up by $80 in price. The Series S 1 terabyte is going up ridiculous. Another $80 in price. Xbox Series X digital only going up $100 in price. Series X, which has the disk drive, going up $100 in price. The Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition going up $130 in price. The controller prices are increasing. Take a look. The limited edition, well, the regular edition controllers are now going to be $70. I believe weren't they 60? I think they're 70. The funny part about this is they're sold at sale price all the time. I've never paid full price for an Xbox controller. I think the most I paid last time I got one was like $35. So you could get these on sale all the time. So why they think raising the base price is a good idea makes no sense when already these things are sold on discount. But anyway, as you can see, they've raised the prices of all the controllers. The Elite went up by $10. The Elite, that's the full case with all the accessories, went up by $20. The headset went up by $10. So here is the statement that Microsoft gave IGN about this. We understand that these changes are challenging and they were made with careful consideration, given market conditions and the rising cost of development. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen, ensuring value for Xbox players. Okay, folks, I have something I have to say, and some people aren't going to like it, all right? You ready? You can raise the price on your product when you are sought after as an industry leader and people see you as the premium experience. For example, recently Sony announced they were raising the price of their PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro consoles, correct? They said, we're going to raise them because, why? They are the definitive console experience. If you want to get the absolute best graphics and the Sony exclusives, you need a PlayStation 5. So if they raise the price, it's kind of like, well, I'm paying for the best experience. I guess I have to accept it, okay? Nintendo. Everyone knows Nintendo's gaming experiences are pretty exclusive, right? First-party Nintendo games are huge. Everyone knows that Mario Kart World's going to sell like gangbusters when it comes out at the release of the Switch 2 in early June. That's how Nintendo rolls. So if Nintendo says, we're going to raise the price of games, and we're now going to charge $80 as a premium experience for games, gamers may cringe, but they accept it. They say, well, I guess we just got to kind of bite this bullet, because if we want to be part of that premium Nintendo exclusive experience, right, I guess we're going to have to pay more. We don't even have a choice, right? Like, this is just something we have to accept. But Xbox, Microsoft, is massively trailing this console generation. They are by far behind in the number 3 spot, okay? They are not selling or moving consoles at any kind of a very good rate. The only thing they have going for them is Game Pass, which is a great value in my opinion. I mean, just take a look at all the games that I've played that were Game Pass games over the last several months and the great value I'm getting out of that service. But they're just not moving product at all. Okay, like I said, you can get Xbox controllers regularly at a big discount. Online, you could get one for $30, $40 tops. So let me ask you this question. If you are in a situation where you're the industry loser, you're behind all of your competition, do you think it's a good idea 4+ years into the life of your console to raise the fucking price of the console by 80 to $100+? Does that make any logical sense whatsoever? Really? Do you think that this is going to entice more people to buy your already loser of a console and all the accessories that no one is currently buying? Do you think that that's going to, wow, make me feel like it's a better premium product because I have to spend more on it? Or do you think that this is going to push people even more towards your competition who already are being seen as the premium gaming choices in the landscape? Microsoft was seen as the budget console this generation. For $300, right? I can buy an Xbox Series S, get Game Pass, and now I've got access to all of these games running at a pretty good frame rate, a pretty good visual experience, and I didn't spend a lot of money. You're actually going to take that away from people now by raising the price of all of your consoles by $80 to $100, and you're no longer the discount option. So what are you? No one's buying your console because it's the cheapest. No one's buying your console because you have good exclusives. No one's buying your console because you have the best graphics. So why would anyone buy your console? Every time that Microsoft management has been making a decision in the last several years, I have to shake my head and be like, they should all be unemployed. Phil Spencer should not be the head of Microsoft Game Studios. He should be flipping burgers somewhere. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's an actual idiot. And the sad fact is, I think the reason that people liked Phil Spencer so much is because he was so much better than Don Matrick during the Xbox One era. But in the modern era, we're seeing more and more how the guy is a fucking buffoon. He's an armpit scratcher. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, raise the price, but no one's buying your product anyway. Raise the price. Ooh, 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 ooh. What are you, stupid? Yeah, you're dumb. There's no other explanation for it. He's a fucking troglodyte. He's an idiot. Why would you do this? You're already our last place. And now you're going to make your product more expensive? How will this help? I just, it doesn't make any sense at all. There's actual no rationalization for it. You can't even say that there was a mentality behind. Well, they had to do it because costs are going up. They don't. They're not. They don't have to mass manufacture Xboxes. They have them in surplus. They already made them. No one's buying them. So they don't need their excuse. Oh, well, the cost went up. The cost of what? The Xboxes are already made. They're sitting in warehouses unsold. What cost is going up? It doesn't even. There's not even an actual justification for it. Tariffs. What tariffs? The product is here, sitting in a warehouse, unsold. The tariff doesn't affect it. The tariffs are things that are coming in. That's what a tariff affects, not things that are sitting here unsold on a shelf or in a warehouse. So anyway, it's insanity. It's absolute wild, and this guy remains in charge. I don't know why a stockholder would be like, oh, I'm even going to put up with this anymore. He, at this point, so let me get this straight. Not only are you the leader or the loser, the far trail dragger, right, in the gaming industry, but you keep continuously making choice after choice that's bad for your company. You don't even want people to think that they have to buy an Xbox because you're saying, my phone is an Xbox, my laptop is an Xbox, my boombox, my refrigerator is an Xbox. Anything is an Xbox that can run a Microsoft game. Okay, so why do I need to buy your console that you just raised the price $80 on if everything else is an Xbox too? You stupid mouth drooler. Anyway, so yeah, really stupid story, right? Okay, let's continue. We have a really interesting story Because this story, all right, the real reason that this story is interesting is because it shows how just actual fan desire for something can almost will something into existence, but how sad it is that people kind of ignore what the fans want. Allow me to explain. I would like to show you something. From May 2nd, rumor, Yuji Horii leaks Chrono Trigger remake in development. Rumor, Yuji Horii confirms accidentally a remake of Chrono Trigger. Yuji Horii just leaked the existence of a Chrono Trigger remake at the Naples Comic Con because of course he did. Apparently, Yuji Horii spilled the beans on a potential upcoming Chrono Trigger remake in Naples. Keep going. Chrono Trigger remake is real. So we keep going, all right? So for half a day yesterday, the entire internet was abuzz with this news that Yuji Horii, okay, one of the creators of Chrono Trigger, was in Naples. He was getting interviewed about Dragon Quest. And as he's being interviewed about Dragon Quest, someone talked to him about Chrono Trigger, and he accidentally let slip with the translator that there's going to be a Chrono Trigger remake. And the translator said it to the crowd. And then Yuji Horii heard this and realized, oh no, I wasn't supposed to say that. And he kind of grabbed the translator and then went like this, like to say, oh no, I shouldn't, just don't say that or whatever. And then they all moved on and never addressed it ever again for the rest of the show. So the entire internet is abuzz for half a day with the news that Yuji Horii has let slip that Chrono Trigger is getting a modern remake. And everyone's excited. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone is so pumped for this. We want Chrono Trigger. We've been waiting forever for a Chrono Trigger piece of content. Thank you so much. Our prayers have been answered. Content creators are making videos about it. People are making social media posts about it. Everyone's going crazy. Guess what? It literally didn't happen. Where's the full story here? Here it is. Here's what actually happened, okay? Yuji Horii didn't actually say anything at all about Chrono Trigger remake at a Comic-Con. It came from the translator. Horii was saying, back when they made the original, he always liked time travel. So they made it with the concept of fighting bosses in different eras. But the translator mistakes what he said and brings up a Chrono Trigger remake out of nowhere. The crowd gets excited. The translator goes back to confirm with Horii, but we can't hear what they said and if Horii recognized the misunderstanding. Sadly, as Horii didn't actually say anything, it's hard to take it as a reliable confirmation. So basically, the translator misunderstood what Yuji Horii was saying and thought that he was saying something about generations of games, saying like there would be a new generation of Chrono Trigger or a new era of Chrono Trigger. And he thought, oh, that means there's a remake. No, what he was saying is that there were different bosses in different eras in Chrono Trigger. He missed half the sentence. And the translator goofed. Okay? Now, you might say, well, then why is this even a story? Because, just listen, you have to understand something. For guys like me, this is, like, huge. We grew up playing classic Square Enix and turn-based RPGs. Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, Final Fantasy. Those are the big four. Okay? Either turn-based or even action-based RPGs from that era. All, Square Enix stuff. Of course, well, I guess Earthbound wasn't Square Enix, but it was very similar, right? These are the kind of games that, like, our childhood is based around, quite frankly. Sitting around on a day when nothing else is going on and playing these epic story-based games when otherwise everyone else was playing, like, action games and stuff. But these things had epic stories, right? And because of that, we've always wanted someone to do something new with that. Why is it that they've mostly been forgotten? Or the most that we ever get is like, oh, Final Fantasy HD Remaster, right? Which is good, by the way. I like the HD remasters, the new pixels, the music, widescreen support, all of that. But just kind of looking back at the past and you're like, these games were so amazing. They sold like gangbusters. Everyone in the world talked about them. They were culturally relevant. And then it's just like these companies said, put them on the shelf. Yeah, there was Chrono Cross. That's true. But for the most part, they just don't do anything with them. And so people get so excited about anything Chrono Trigger related that even when a translator mistranslates something, The entire internet went crazy for half a day, making videos about it, getting excited, getting hyped, only to get deflated at the end of the day to find out the whole thing was actually a misunderstanding. Okay. So, if anything, it's a little sad that people run with stories before they're even confirmed. But I do have to ask the question, okay? Why don't they do something with it then? Like, realistically, if you know that the entire internet wants Chrono Trigger content, whether it's a HD 2D remaster, a full 3D remake, a sequel, a prequel, anything. We want Chrono Trigger content. We want to pay for it. We want to digest it. We want to play it. We want to experience it. It is something from our childhoods that we love, and you've taken it away from us by essentially shelving it for 30 years, right? So why not do something with it, Square Enix? Instead of sitting around and pumping out Final Fantasy 16 and then complaining that it undersold because you changed the entire franchise into something people don't want, why don't you listen to actually what people do want? It's pretty darned obvious people want Chrono Trigger and are willing to pay for it, so make it. Stop making stuff people don't want and make stuff people do want, and then you'll be successful. It's almost like business 101, but I swear to God, some cases with these game developers and these companies, they don't get it. They don't understand it. If you just listen, you put your ear to the ground to listen to what gamers are asking for and saying. And if you actually deliver the things that they're asking for, that they'll actually give you money for them. It's like it's a new concept or something, right? Like products that people want, the money to purchase the products, exchange. Get it? That's called business. We have one more news story for today. I know this has been a very news heavy day, correct? Okay, ready? Rockstar Games yesterday officially announced that Grand Theft Auto 6 is canceled. Just kidding. Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed significantly because originally it had a projected release date of fall 2025. But the funny thing was that we were not seeing any concrete information about this game. And you would have thought if this game really is coming out in the fall, right? By now, wouldn't have we seen gameplay? Wouldn't we have seen like some kind of promotion? Are you aware that the gameplay trailer came out over a year ago? Yeah, the first trailer for GTA 6 is over a year old already. So, what's going on with this game? We would know more about it if it was actually coming out in the fall. So, officially, here is the full statement from Rockstar. We're very sorry that this is later than you expected. Oh, excuse me. First, Grand Theft Auto 6 is now set to release on May 26th, 2026. We are very sorry this is later than you expected. The interest and excitement surrounding the new Grand Theft Auto has been truly humbling for our entire team. We want to thank you for your support and your patience as we work to finish the game. With every game we have released, the goal has always been to try and exceed your expectations, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is no exception. We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver at the level of quality that you expect and deserve. We look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. So, of course, the internet has responded in various different ways. Some people are saying, well, this is horrible, right? This game has already been in development over a decade. What kind of development hell is this? Some people actually started wondering, is this actually the longest development cycle ever for a game? And the answer is no. To this day, still the longest development cycle for a game was Duke Nukem Forever, which started development in the late 90s and didn't come out till 2011. So that one actually is technically still beating GTA 6, okay? But, what's going on with this game? Why on earth did they actually announce it and say it was going to come out fall 2025 with nothing to show? Kind of weird. Why, they could have maybe just said coming, it is in development, but no release date or no estimated time frame. And maybe that would have been better because now, of course, people are going to be disappointed. I was just saying this last week that This year, all right, seemed like an underwhelming year so far. The games that have been the best games are not the big ones, the AAA ones, the ones that everyone expected, but instead are games like Blueprints or Claire Obscure. These are the games that are like the game of the year contenders right now. We needed a big AAA game to come out and actually be so damn good that it actually feels like the old days of games, right? It's been a long time since we had a feeling like, oh, AAA studio is really putting out a banger that we could depend on to be good. Instead, it's kind of like every time one of these studios now puts out a game, you're apprehensive it's going to be good or not. And everyone seems to feel like GTA 6 is the one. Rockstar doesn't put out games often. So, man, they're taking their time with this thing. They're letting it cook. They're letting it simmer. They're seasoning it. They're finishing it, putting those garnishes on it, finishing touches, side dishes. This thing's going to be the best main course of gaming that we've had in a very long time. People still are speculating this thing's going to be $100 or more when it actually releases, not this typical retail price. So some people, admittedly, are pretty disappointed. Others are like, we never really expected it to come out this year anyway. Me, I was kind of in the middle. Like, I wanted it to come out this year. You guys kept asking me this last week. Do you think it'll come out this year? And I said, I hope it does. But the thing is, it doesn't have a release date. It has a release window. Without a date, it's hard for me to believe. Like, now that they're saying May 26, 2026, that makes me feel like that's a date that they're absolutely, positively pushing for. They want that to be the release date because now promotional materials will start being made. Stores will start planning giant launch events. Everyone will be psyched for GTA 6 on May 26th. We didn't have that date before, so it's not really that big of a deal. But now the push will begin. So there you have it. Is it good? Is it bad? You know what they say? Well, you know what? I forget who it was. Was it Awata-san who said at one point that a delayed game comes out late, but a bad game that's rushed is bad forever. It's true. You don't want this game to come out with all the bells and whistles, but half of them don't work. Not polished, falling apart, stumbling on its own self, tripping on its own shoelaces. You want this to be a throwback era, right? Where basically games that come from a AAA developer can be determined to be good or trusted to be good and not a disappointment. Rockstar may be the one studio. I mean, take a look how the mighty have fallen. We've had BioWare. We've had Ubisoft. I keep going. I probably named 10 studios, Bethesda in general, that have all fallen from grace. Used to be the titans, used to be the dependable guys, and now they're putting out crap. All right? Now, Rockstar, remaining the bastion of good gaming quality, delaying their game hopefully is a good sign. And hopefully when this game comes out next year, it'll be amazing. A true groundbreaking experience that will revolutionize things in gaming. New gameplay elements, new graphical abilities, insane amount of content, storytelling, right? We want this game to be what games used to be back in the day that we don't get anymore. We don't want the game that's just phoned in, paint by numbers, cookie cutter copied everyone else and taped together. We want something that truly feels like something special in gaming culture. With this delay, hopefully it gives them that time to do that. That's my opinion anyway. To be honest, I wanted it to come out this year, but I think we'll be all right. And I think that when it comes out, everyone's going to be psyched. There you go. Okay. Folks, that's the show. I have a shout out or two to do here. We've got a $20 super chat from Gamer Chris, who says, hope that you've had a good day, Phil. I hope everything is well with you. You're a cool and hilarious person. Well, thank you, Gamer Chris. I appreciate that very, very much. It's good to see you. Sorry it took me so long to shout that out because I was in the midst of those stories, and I wanted to be sure that I got through them before I got back to shout outs. It's good to have you here, man. So, Gamer Chris, thank you. And I appreciate the compliments. So now we're up to $113 of support. And what I'll do is a very brief Q&A session. If you guys have anything to talk about, tag me in chat. Last chance if you wanted to support the podcast. Like I said, I was hoping to hit the goal by the end of the show because we had such great momentum. Now we're less than $40 away. We could do it. We could hit it. And that would be amazing. Going into the Oblivion gameplay portion of the stream, already hitting the goal would be outstanding. Okay? Do I think they're delaying GTA 6 for next generation hardware? No, absolutely not. They never do that. They're going to absolutely put it out for this gen of hardware, and then they're going to port it to the next gen and sell it again. And then they're going to port it to PC and sell it again. That's what Rockstar does. That is the Rockstar way. Sell and sell and sell and sell the same thing 72 times. I mean, Skyrim learned from GTA 5 how to do it. Gamer Nerd Stevie, 8 months as a member, says, Phil, what do you think of GTA 6? Probably will be good. Again, you just heard what I just said. I hope that this is an actual representation of the old school mantra that if you're going to buy a game from a AAA studio, they go above and beyond and they actually release a game that's revolutionary, that's different, that's good. Because sadly, it's not happening anymore. AAA studios are releasing underwhelming game after underwhelming game after underwhelming game. And then it used to be like that. You used to be able to trust them. Rockstar, we still kind of trust. Let's hope that they live up to that expectation. Okay. Okay. Any idea when PS6 will come out? No. I mean, they just released PS5 Pro last year. Typically, when they release a more souped up version of a current gen console, you've at least got a couple of years before they start talking about the next console. PS4 Pro had a good, 2-3 year run, and then PS5 came out. So I would expect probably no new console from Sony until maybe 2028 would be my guess. Could be wrong, but I'm thinking 2027, 2028. Do I currently own an Xbox Series X or S? I had the X, but it's downstairs now. My wife uses it to play games because I don't need it anymore. I literally will never need an Xbox console because I have PC with Game Pass Ultimate. So I play the exact same games on PC that I would be playing on my Xbox. Okay. If I hit the marathon goal earlier, will I schedule the marathon for the weekend? No, I'm not going to hold off. We're going to do the marathon when we hit the goal. If we hit all the goals right now, if someone jumped onto Kick and gifted 500 subs right now, which isn't going to happen, by the way, we would do the marathon tomorrow. Okay? If we hit the goals, 8 goals by the end of Monday, we will do the marathon Tuesday. If we hit the goals by the end of Thursday, we'll do it on Friday. So it all depends. All right? But we got to hit 8 goals. So that's why we got to get it moving. Like I said, if we hit the goal by the end of this podcast, would be perfect. I think figure it out, dude. I think that is a major concern for a lot of people. I'm one of them. He says, I feel GTA 6 is going to be a cash grab for GTA Online and the single player will suffer. When you look at GTA 5, it is arguably one of, if not the best-selling game of all time, but that's because people kept rebuying it to play GTA Online over and over with each new console released, right? First it was Xbox 360 and PS3, then it was Xbox One and PS4, then there was a PC, right? It came for PC eventually, and then it was the current gen, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and the game resold every time. But the content that they kept making was for that. In fact, they had all these story-based DLCs, single-player DLCs designed and ready to go. The one with Trevor was literally 90% done. They were almost completely done with it. But then when they saw the money rolling in from GTA Online, they said, why are we working on single-player content? This makes no sense. And then they just went right to online content. I mean, some of them were even converted. That Franklin expansion for GTA Online was confirmed was originally a single player DLC. That then they converted into that because online is where all the money was. So I agree with you. I am very, very skeptical, okay, that GTA 6 will be as much of a focus as it has been, the single player experience. You know, with GTA 5, no one knew if online was going to work or not. In reality, it didn't at launch at all. Remember, GTA 6, GTA Online did not work for several days after launch. Everyone tried to join it. We just kicked them off. Now this thing is tried and true test. If 12 plus years, 13 plus years, it's been in effect and people have been playing it and love it and sunk bajillions of dollars into it. So I'm very curious what will happen. How much of their focus is on the single versus the multi? And it is a concern. I'm there with you that I don't want to spend $100+ on GTA 6 just to have the campaign be an afterthought and everyone just wants to play online and that's all they focused on. But I guess we'll have to see. I received a $10 tip. Play the animation and see what they have to say. I think it's anonymous. I'm not seeing a name. Do you think GTA 6 is going to be a $80 game? Why might people be all right with Rockstar increasing prices but are upset Nintendo and how Microsoft are doing the same thing? Because it is understood that this game will be a groundbreaking experience. GTA games typically do that. They break the mold. They have better graphics, more gameplay elements, longer narratives, more content for your buck. When you bought GTA 5, you received a very lengthy single-player campaign, and you received GTA Online. So if they're doing the same thing this time around, I would pay $100 if the game's like 60 hours long, and then on top of that, we get GTA Online, and I wouldn't even complain. I received a $2 tip from Billy Bowanka. As a streamer, what do you prefer, to gain followers or gain eagers? I don't know what an eager is. I've never even heard of that term before, so you'd have to clarify. I don't know what you mean by that. I got another $2 tip. Did you let Trevor bird in GTA 5? Well, do you remember that I did multiple runs and playthroughs? I don't remember what my original ending actually was. I just know that Michael survived because I remember when I was playing GTA 5, some idiot came on the stream and said, Michael dies at the end. And then everyone thought it was like a giant spoiler. And then I played through my game and Michael lived and everyone's like, well, the guy was full of shit. Now, Michael can die depending on your choices and the way you play the game. So I guess technically it was a spoiler, but if you have a game with multiple scenario endings, I guess that's a good thing because it means that you get your own personalized outcome, right? I saw all the endings. I've seen the ending where Trevor, dies. I've seen the ending where Trevor escapes and survives. I've seen them all. So, and DJ did a $2 super chat. Nice haircut and shirt combo. Thank you, DJ and DJ. Yes, we're still continuing on with the spring summer vibe here. Big Papa Phil just gifted a membership this morning. Thank you so much, Big Papa Phil, for that. That gets us up to 132. We're 18 away from hitting the goal, but sadly, guys, we are pretty much out of time. So unless someone does an $18 contribution right now, we didn't hit the goal during the podcast. So close. Oh, so close. But thank you guys for a well-supported show. We covered all the topics I wanted to cover. So here's the deal. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about Oblivion. We'll be talking about how Call of Duty went. We'll be talking about any other game news that goes down. All right, one thing I didn't cover today was Borderlands 4. And I'm well aware that Borderlands 4 did have a big thing back on Wednesday. I didn't have time to talk about it today because we had so many news stories. I knew we wouldn't get to it. Perhaps tomorrow, that could be a topic that we cover. Okay? Okay. All right, folks. Thank you so very much for a great episode of the Level 1 Podcast. I will see you all tomorrow. We do it all again. It's going to be a great week coming up. Thanks for being here. See you soon.